No job too big or small. Just call RGC. You see what we got going on. It is my mother's birthday. Happy birthday to mama. But I am Destine, the Chief Operating Officer of RGC. If you need any property preservation or management done or grading or construction, let us know. We are definitely here and happy to serve you. Let's go. Let's be great. Let's go, y'all. Did you get that? Hey, and we are live. Let's go. What's up, 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 what's up? My steady steppers. Let's go, man. Y'all know my favorite co-host and the one and only other young man that ever does it better than me, Junior. He is not here right now. Denim, he don't usually like to do the... He's not a big advocate of the Steady Stepper intro yet. But we still gonna get him to get into it if he really decides that's what he want to do. But nonetheless, we are back with another lit episode. Y'all already know what's going on. The one, the only, your host with the most lit energy. What is up? How y'all been doing this week? What y'all been up to this week? What did you guys get accomplished this week? What did you get accomplished this week? How was this week for you? How did you feel throughout the week? How did you interact with others throughout the week? What are some things that you thought? What were some thoughts that you had this week? Let's talk about it. Y'all down to talk about it for a little bit? Yeah, so I definitely want to get to know you guys. Like I say, each and every episode, I need to know who I get the opportunity to help get to their next level on the other side of this camera. So that's why I love it when you guys get down in the comments on YouTube. Y'all on Instagram, y'all shoot me a DM. Oh yeah, follow me on Instagram at Steady, STEADY .Stepping, STEPPING .podcast. Y'all already know how to spell podcast, and it's gonna be the Instagram that says Tony Roger, because y'all know the other Instagram got hacked. But that's what I'm saying. We never let nothing like that stop us when we know where we gotta go, because we got faith that's on our side, and faith gonna help us grow. So as you guys already know, this episode today is brought to you and sponsored by RGC. No job too big or small. Just call RGC, your favorite property and preservation specialist. We love to bring the value back to each and every client through our list of diverse contractors that are here to provide nothing but customer service and quality work. Quality does not come cheap. I just want y'all to know that. Quality does not come cheap, but it's also not super overly expensive either. But we about to get let's get this episode started. So today's episode is gonna be overcoming obstacles, because this week I have I've had quite a few obstacles that have truly challenged me, and they did their best to pull out my old version of me. And the reason I say that was because multiple reasons. One, my aunt, she has transferred into her new life. If you guys don't understand what that means, my aunt passed away Monday night right before I got up and went to work. It was about 1 or 2 in the morning. And she had been staying with us. She was in the den. So I had the blessed opportunity to spend the last couple of months with her in her preparing for her transition, and we would just have conversations, and I would just ask her, Auntie, like, what are some things that you always wanted to do? And she told me she always wanted, she used to play the piano a little bit, but she said she really liked to play the piano, and she wanted to play it a lot more. And she also told me that she always wanted a 4-wheeler, which I never knew. So I thought that was pretty dope. So in that, just saying that we never know which day is our last day. So never ever let fear or obstacles hinder you from living out your true dreams, because it's up to you to make your dreams into a reality. No matter no matter who or what tries to get in front of you and stop it, you can't let them stop it, because it's only an obstacle that you get to figure out how to overcome. That's why it's put in front of you. It's not put in front of you to stop right there. It's put in front of you to figure out how to get over that obstacle. And then you have that intellectual property to be able to use when you come to the next obstacle, or even doing what I'm doing, be able to give those gems that you learned getting over that obstacle to help somebody like yourself, or maybe a friend or a family member. It's just, it's about overcoming. You get what I'm saying? Overcoming to become something bigger and better. So the first talking point I want to talk about comes from the book. Of course, y'all know we talking about freedom from fears. And this right here, this is a deep bar, and it's crazy because when I was thinking about the topic throughout the week, and I knew what it, and I figured out what it was, then I come back and open up chapter 2. This book, and one thing I do like about this book, you guys, it has like different activities that you can do in it, and it really helps you look at fears a whole different way. So this bar comes from Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. So to me, what that means is every time that a failure comes about, you get two choices, right? You can say, dang, man. You can plant that seed of failure in your mind like, dang, I failed at this, I'ma just give up. Or you can plant the seed of, dang, man, I actually learned on this. I didn't fail because I'm still here. I learned from this situation. And then when you change the lingo and the terminology of how you saying it, then you planting different seeds in your thought process. Like, instead of saying, man, I failed, no, I learned. I fulfilled that learning obligation in my mind. So then it's like, ooh. Then your mind get to thinking. Because see, the mind is a creative place. Our minds are so creative. Like, okay, let me give you this, right? You know how our mind get to thinking about the negative stuff, and then it may really not even be negative, but then your mind get to racing all these extra negative thoughts. Then that adds fire onto that initial negative thought that you already had. So imagine this. Now follow me. Check this out. Imagine this, right? Instead of it being a negative thought, imagine a positive thought. Ooh, I almost fell. That's how y'all know I'm excited. Imagine a positive thought, right? So imagine when you plant that positive thought of seed, or that positive seed in your thoughts. And then it's like, then your mind gets to coming up with all these extra solutions to help feed that positive thought. So now you can get onto the other side of that learning lesson. You get what I'm saying? So let me give you guys a true example. So this weekend, Junior and I, we was at work on the truck, and we had a situation. So we was out of town and it was cold. So when we had pulled over, I cut the truck off. We had took a nap. And then when I woke up, it was cold. So I got out, turned the water on in the truck, and we was trucking. So when he finally woke up, it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. And he said, Dad, I'm hungry. So at first I was going to be like, well, let us get loaded, because we got a good little ways to get loaded. I want to make sure we get loaded. No pressure. Make sure we get there on time. And someone's just like, no, feed your son, because it might be a long day. So I was like, okay. So we was going through these little country towns and stuff, and there was a McDonald's over there. So I was like, hey, you want some McDonald's? You want some oatmeal for McDonald's? He was like, yeah, let's get it. I was like, let's go. So boom, we pull over to go to McDonald's. Guess what came on? The shutdown light on the truck. And I'm like, the shutdown light? My truck ain't never did. Brown Stallion ain't never had the shutdown light come on, right? So I'm like, okay, let me pull over, let me check the oil, and let me check the coolant. Because those are usually, with the older trucks, those are usually the only two things that'll make a truck shut off light come on. So I checked those two, and come to find out, it was the coolant level was low. So I'm like, okay, boom. God is so great. We went right across the street to the O'Reilly's. Literally, McDonald's right here, O'Reilly's right here. So I left McDonald's, ran across the street to O'Reilly's, got some more coolant. Bam, boom, boom. So we got some coolant out of O'Reilly's. So we got to get loaded and everything. Woo-too, blah, blah, blah. And while we getting loaded, I look on the ground and I see like green stuff under the truck. So I'm like, is that Freon? But I'm like, no, it ain't Freon because my AC compressor line busted and the Freon when taking the truck. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm not tripping. Whatever. So then we get to trucking. And we about to get back on the highway later on that day. And the shutdown light came back on. But the truck actually shut off. So I'm like, what in the world is going on? So of course, I went back to check the coolant. So I went to check the coolant and it was of course low. So God is so great again. We was right across the street from a gas station. So I ran over there and got some water, put it in the truck, rolled back like 30 feet, was able to pull to a truck stop right across the street. And I'm like, man, goodness gracious. So then I got to think that those negative thoughts started to come up again. Those negative thoughts were like, dang, why it's always something. Man, I didn't get loaded on time the way I wanted to. Then the truck started acting crazy on me. But I said, stop. I stopped my thoughts right there in their tracks. And I said, hold up. Why are you thinking negative? Why are you thinking negative, dude? You got breath in your body. You got a mind to think. And you have an opportunity to figure out what's going on with your truck. So I was like, you know what? You right, Destine. Let's figure this out because we gonna get home. And we not calling no tow truck. And we not paying no road service fee because we not. So I'm like, okay, bet. I got up under that truck. I got the tinkering with stuff, pulling stuff, looking at hoses. And I'm like, it's a lot of green stuff. The green stuff was light towards the front of the truck. But then I started sliding on the ground up under the truck, closer towards the back, towards the fifth wheel. And I'm like, the color of the green is getting heavier. And then I'm looking up and then I start seeing drips. I said, this might be the problem. So then I get to pulling stuff, yanking stuff, messing with stuff, and skeet, it squirted. So I'm like, oh, I hit something. So then I start pulling the line again and it squirted again. So I'm like, bam, found the problem. So what it was the line that runs from the radiator reservoir bottle, it runs under the full length of the truck, under to the back. And if you don't know, a truck has 2 units. It has 1 unit for the front, like an AC compressor and stuff like that. And it has a whole separate unit for the back. So the unit at the back hose had a crack in it because it had rubbed itself raw. So what it means when something rubs itself raw or chafes, it rubs so much and it punctures a hole in the material. So it had punctured a hole in the material. So I'm like, bet. So check this out. And while I was under there, I also prevented another problem. So I figured out my fuel line was rubbing on my drive line. Thank you, goodness, I stopped that. Because, man, that would have been a problem that, we would have had to overcome again. But nonetheless, it wouldn't have been even a problem. It would have just been another obstacle to figure out. But I made sure I zip tied that back up while I was up under there. And then we went back to address this leaking hose. So I'm like, dang. Y'all, now it was about 9. It was 9 o'clock. About 9:15 when I saw the problem, when I finally figured it out. So I went inside the little gas station and I started thinking like, dang, okay, think this and think. What can you do? How can you solve this problem? So I'm like, okay, first we need to put some more water in the truck. So boom, we put water in the truck. So then I'm like, okay, next step. We need to fix the problem because we got either 2 options. Either we going to be filling this truck up every couple miles with radiator fluid and antifreeze, which is going to end up costing me hundreds of dollars because every time you stop and when it get cold, you don't want to put straight water in no vehicle because if you put a lot of water in the vehicle, it's going to freeze and it's going to bust your radiator. So you want to put the right fluid in there. So I'm like, okay, that's not an option. We not finna jerry rig it. We about to fix it right now. So I'm like, okay, light bulb came off. Ding! I got on my phone. I said, nearest auto part place near me. So Mind you, at this time, it's like 10:30. So I'm like, boom, O'Reilly. Oh, no, it was AutoZone came up. So I like, boom, I called him on the phone. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I'm a truck driver, and I need some hose. He's like, some hose? I'm like, yeah, I need some hose. He's like, what kind of hose? I'm like, it's something almost as thick as a garden hose, but I'm not really sure. He's like, if you can take it off and bring it in, we can match it up. But if you can eyeball it too, that'll work. I'm like, I ain't got no choice, bruh. I gotta pull up on you. He's like, all right, come on. We close it at 10 o'clock. Mind you, it's like 10:30 at this point. So I'm like, roll it. So Junior, and mind you, whole time, Junior's just being a trooper, man. So shout out to him for being a great trooper and being patient with me. And that was another reason that I had the opportunity to truly ascend and not descend to my old self, because every time, for everybody out there that has kids or nieces or nephews or any young child that you're around a lot of time or spend a lot of time with, that young person looks up to you. Whether you want to believe it or understand it and respect it or not, they look up to you and they pay attention to everything you do and how you respond and react to every situation. So that was a great teaching moment for me and my son, to really be able to show him what to do in situations when things happen, but you don't have the answer right away. You got to think through the situation. You got to see yourself on the other side with the solution in hand and complete it and back on your adventure. So we was able to get to the AutoZone with like 10 minutes to spare before they close. And then, oh, y'all got to go check out that video on the Destine's Millinneal Lifestyle channel. Link going to be in the description below to that YouTube channel with me fixing the hose and whatnot. But we was able to get there. I ended up cutting the hose off the truck. And those guys, and that's why I'm saying, when your energy is so amazing and positive, people just love to help you. So the guy at the AutoZone, he blessed me with a free hose. And he blessed me with some free clamps. And he was just super duper helpful with everything. Your thought process, as soon as you feel that negative thought process come, you got to say, stop. We're not thinking like that. Only positive ascension. Because when you start to begin to think positive, then your mind begins to think bigger. In The Power of the Subconscious Mind, that book, the biggest thing that book taught me was your subconscious mind doesn't know whatever you tell it is true or false. It only knows what you tell it. So when you tell it positivity, it accepts positivity. When you tell it negativity, it accepts negativity. So watch the words that you tell your subconscious mind. Watch the things that you feed through your eyes, which meaning the things that you watch and the things that you hear into your ears. Especially with the people that you're around too, you know. But that's a whole nother podcast for a whole nother day. So I just want you guys to know that every failure brings the equivalent seed of an advantage. Always remember, you can solve your own problems. You just got to be able to think through it and think positively for a solution. So in the thick of challenges, we can choose to either surrender or pivot. I want y'all, I'm going to say that again because I don't know if the people in the back had the opportunity to truly hear me clearly. In the thick of challenges, we have the chance. No, you have the choice. You have the choice. You have the choice. And I have the choice to either surrender, hands up, I give up, I can't take it no more, or you can pivot. You can pivot. Bust that left, bust the left, no, bust the left, bust a right, then bust a, so we're going to bust a left, bust a right, and then we're going to bust a right back again, and then we back on the path. Because to me, right, just me thinking, like with surrender is failure to me. Because surrender is like, I give up, I can't go any further, I don't have any more energy to try. I can't. But see, remember what we just talked about with the power of your subconscious mind. When you say I can't, then your body and your energy follows that I can't. Versus when you pivot, you like, and you step out on faith, and it's like, okay, this is challenging, right? But I know what I can't do, is I can't stay in this challenging space, because if I don't keep going, I'm still going to be stuck right here 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the line, versus if I like, man, I need to make a pivot real quick so I can get over this. I'm like, boom, pivot, found a solution. Because when I made up in my mind, like, okay, boom, we gonna make that pivot, then my mind is like, okay, boom, 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 you can pivot, you can go over here, and you can start getting gems from over here. Boom, you can pivot again, and you can start collecting things from over here. And boom, you can pivot that one last time, and then boom, you right back on track. So now, after you done made those couple of pivots or turns, or whatever you like to call them, and you back on track to where you need to go, staying steady, you got more gems on that journey, right? So now your new gems on that journey is helping you to think a lot bigger. It's helping you to dream a lot bigger, and it's helping you to move with a lot more consistency and a lot more. You got a lot more air in your chest now. So you poking your chest up. You got the arms looking gracious, and you walking like you back better than ever, because you were able to make a couple adjustments and learn when you made those, learn while you was making those adjustments, and now you got some new intellectual property up there to build upon what you already have. Versus you like, I give up. I can't do it no more. Like, but did you see how my energy changed even when I was like, I give up. I can't do it no more. Versus like, no, I'm a pivot. We gonna execute on this. We gonna get to where we need to go, and we gonna make sure we be great and get to our destination. But you see how the energy fluctuated from I give up to we gonna pivot and we gonna be great. Because that's what, to me, that's the difference on how you view those challenges. Because when you got that surrender mindset, it's like, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna let the challenge beat me. The challenge got it. It won. Heck no, not the new me. The old me about 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, maybe even a year ago. Yeah, it would have got that. This me, we about to fight. And we gonna fight to the death. You get what I'm saying? And that's what my mindset, now that I've been doing all these different things like exercising, reading, being around other people that think like me or think bigger, and learning how they overcame their obstacles, getting different gems on what they did and how they did it through the process. That's allowed me to elevate my mindset to now it's either it's gonna work or it's gonna work, because me surrendering to anything is over with. Me being defeated over any challenge is over with. That is not happening. Like, I would have to die before I surrender to anything but the Most High Power. And when it's time for me to surrender, I'm going to be on lived out my full mission. My purpose will have been fulfilled. That's when I know it will be my time. Not because I just was like, no. And that's what I want you guys to also be able to come to the conclusion and elevate your mindset to, like, even though each and every one of us have a different purpose, we all have challenges that's going to come up on our adventure. We all have obstacles that's going to attempt to stop us. We all going to have people that attempt to stop us. You get what I'm saying? But you got to have made up in your mindset that I'm not stopping until I reach my final mission or destination. Because if you don't have that made up in your mind, but somebody else that's attempting to stop you have that, they going to stop you made up in their mind. It's either you versus them. And like Nipsey Hussle said, would you rather be at peace with yourself and at war with the world, or at war with yourself and at peace with the world? Me, I'm going to be at peace with myself and at war with the world all day. Because guess what? When you go home at the end of the day, you by yourself. When you wake up in the morning, you by yourself. When you leave this earth or this universe, you by yourself. When you going through a lot of these challenges, though you may be able to call and ask for advice, you by yourself, because you got to act and truly figure out how to get out of it by yourself. Yeah, people can give you gems. Yeah, people can give you help financially. But still, you got to figure out, like, what's the best move for me? Can't nobody tell you your next best move. That's something you have to strategically think and figure out based upon things that you've been through in the past and where you envision and see yourself at in the future. Because today is the present. So you got to be able to really see further than today. You get what I'm saying? And once you're able to do that, then and you walking on faith, there's no obstacle that will ever even make you think about surrendering. Every time new obstacles come up with your new strong mindset, you like, that's it. Come on, bring it on. And then you get over, you be like, that's as big as you got? Universe, that's the biggest obstacle you got? That's the strongest obstacle you got? I'm finna crush it. I'm about to kill this obstacle. That's my mindset. I know y'all mindset is there because you guys are my avatar. So you guys are on the other side of the camera like, yeah, Destine, I'm picking up what you putting down because we all on the same journey. The same journey to elevate our thought process, our lifestyle, and the way we really execute on everything that we do. So that's why we reading more. That's why we're going to these different events. That's why we getting in these different groups that are bigger than us, because if you're not around something or someone that is bigger than you, like in a sense of spirituality, mentally, how can you think bigger than yourself? Like, yeah, you may have those glimpses of thoughts, but then sometimes if you have that, so what? Okay, so you gonna have a negative side of you and then a positive side of you. Your positive side gonna be like, I can do this. Your negative side gonna be like, no, you can't. No, you can't. But then when you get around people that's a lot more on that positive side of themselves as well, that yes you can, I can do it, it's gonna get higher and higher and higher and higher, and then this no I can't is gonna get lower and lower and lower and lower until that no I can't is no longer a option. Yes I can is the only option, and then you get to figure out how. So yeah. So the beautiful part about it is we always have choices. So it's up to you whether you choose to go yes or whether you choose to say no. So what you gonna do? Because I mean, you guys are seeing what I'm doing because I'm choosing this way to document my process. So my sons, Denim and Junior, they have a source of documentation to go back and look at how Dad did it, so then they can go back and say, okay, Dad did it like this, and he's my past life, I'm my new life, so boom, if I do it like this, I can get further than where Dad got on his journey. You get what I'm saying? Because each one teach one will allow us to reach one. And that way they don't ever have to feel like they are all alone in their thinking, because I'm them, they me. That's the amazing part about it. And they don't have to go through the same obstacles that I went through. They get to go into their obstacles with an elevated mindset, because Dad did some great foundational work and put some gems in their mind so that they get to see a lot further ahead than others who may not have had the opportunities that I may have had. So that's definitely an advantage of what I wanted for my boys. So we are going to let me stop this episode real quick, because we about to do a quick commercial break. This commercial, again, is brought to you and sponsored by RGC. No job too big or small. Just call RGC. We are your favorite property and preservation specialists. Oh, and by the way, if anybody has any goods products or services that you would like to be featured on the podcast and you would like to get an advertisement spot, make sure you shoot me a DM on Instagram or on Facebook, or shoot me a text message. We can be reached at 470-838-0966. We can reach at 470-838-0966. So if you guys need you some advertisement slots and you want everybody else that's tapped into the podcast to know how great your good product or service is, let me know. And you can be featured on one of these advertisement slots on the Steady Stepping Podcast. Let's grow, let's go, let's grow, because you are always worthy. And yeah, so before we close this episode out tonight, I want to give you guys a gem of the day. And my gem of the day, well, we're gonna call it a gem of the week. Can we change it up to gem of the week? Because y'all know we record once a week, so I want y'all to use this gem throughout the week. So, gem of the week. Never accept defeat, because victory is on the other side. And that really resonated in my spirit. And I've been using it all week because with everything that was going on, I felt myself slipping back into that old mindset, into that old version of me. But I'm like, no, this is not defeat, Destine. We made it too far. We fought too hard to change our mindset, to elevate our way of thinking, and to push on to get to that next level. We're not going to allow this to stop us right here. We're going to use this as fuel. We're going to use this as opportunity. We're going to use this as freaking food to eat. And we're going to bite down, and we're going to grow. We're going to go. So, gem of the week. Never accept defeat, because victory is right on the other side. So I want you guys to know I love each and every one of you. Thank you guys for coming in and tapping in to each and every episode with the Steady Stepping Podcast. And shout out to all my new subscribers. Y'all always know 95% of the subscribers from the Steady Stepping Podcast, I have probably either taken your phone and put the Steady Stepping Podcast in your search engine, or we have had the opportunity to connect and talk in some way, form, or another. So again, thank each and every one of you guys for coming back each and every week to support the Steady Stepping Podcast. I love y'all. And hey, I want some of y'all on the podcast too, man, so we can talk. I can pick you guys' brain, and we can talk about where you really want to go, and we can begin to document your process so everybody else can then be a part of your life, and they can see that we all can do this together, because each one teach one will allow us to reach one. And the more each and every one of us begin to pull each other up, the longer the chain gets, the stronger the chain gets, and the more people we can see at the top. I can't wait to see y'all at the top. I can't wait to see y'all again next week. And we are going to be back with another lit episode next week. So y'all already know, let's go, let's grow, and have a fantastic, uplifted, super duper positive week. And tell somebody you love them this week, because you never know what that I love you and a simple smile will do to change somebody's life. So peace.